Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers just made a significant change on offense, and what I'm talking about is tight end Connor Hayward. He's now up to 240 pounds. He said on Wednesday that he wanted to bulk up 10 pounds from 230, and guess what? Now he's there. Why is that significant? Well, first of all, 240 pounds is not a new weight for Hayward. That's the weight that he played at when he was at Michigan State in college. But the idea behind that is for Hayward to start playing more of the fullback position during the regular season. And I really love this. It signifies Pittsburgh's further commitment to a power running game. And with Caleb Johnson in the fold, with Aaron Rodgers in the fold as well, and offensive coordinator Arthur Smith really adjusting this offense to the players' strengths, and having a power rushing game is going to be an absolute necessity here. And I actually love that Connor Hayward not only is taking his coach's advice, but he's taking initiative to follow it. So before I get to that, let's do something a little fun. Pat Freiermuth. He recently took to social media to announce the engagement of him and his fiancee. That's his longtime fiancee, Jillian Cataldo. And now he's going to be able to spend more time with her during the summer before this season gets in full swing. So really, congratulations, Pat. That bears mentioning, and it's fun to share some things that are outside of football off the field. So let's get back to Connor Hayward, and let's just hear directly from him talking about playing at 240. My senior year, I played at 240. I was just blocking some bigger guys, so just really hitting the weight room with Cam. I know it's got to be a big year in every type of way, special teams, offense, when I'm in there, perimeter blocking. I also just got bigger because he's more at fullback. Just come and look at that type. Honestly, just locking on the playbook, I feel like everything's just kind of slowed down. Last year, everything was moving so fast, not saying that he didn't know it, but just comfortable. And that's a direct quote from him. And now we're looking at offensive coordinator Arthur Smith. He seems to have a distinct vision for not only what he wants in this offense, but what he wants for Hayward to be a fullback and tight end hybrid. He did play some fullback last year, but Hayward, he never quite looked comfortable. He never felt fully to the size that was needed to do so when taking on these big linemen. And now it seems to be like the key has turned on this. And let's hear a little bit more from Connor. I honestly feel like I can be more versatile than I have been in my career. Whenever I lined up, I was at a tight end position, slot, wing. I just feel like this year I can be more at a fullback position and just be able to be a moving piece and help the team in any way. That's what I want to do this year. And Connor's on board with this. You're looking at Hayward entering his 4th season on the team, and he's still one of the best special teamers on this whole roster. And that likely at least gives him some inside edge to, well, he's going to win a roster spot, but it does not hurt to have more versatility on the field. And this is also going to give your offensive coordinator the ability to be a little more creative in his running and passing sets, kind of move him around the field and be the lead blocker, be the battering ram to lead the way for Caleb Johnson, because I am so excited for you guys to see him in this rushing offense. I think he's going to be absolutely fantastic. And now we're looking at something else. Let's hear what our new wide receiver Woods had to say. And he was just interviewed. That's actually while the Steelers were meeting with wideout Gabe Davis. This is to hear from him directly. Former Buffalo Bill, former Jacksonville Jaguars receiver, left Pittsburgh without a contract. But let's hear what he had to say about this. We look at the plays, we come out and practice, and whoever's at practice, that's who we go against. Whoever's on the team, we welcome them. We don't look at who's coming in, who they're bringing in for tryouts. It doesn't matter. It's the offseason. It's part of the game. Guys are going to come and go. I mean, Woods, he knows the process really well, right? And also, to follow up on this, Gabe Davis left town without a contract because medical clearance didn't really happen. The guy is not ready to be signed. He's not fully over that knee injury. I just want to interject that has come about since this interview was done. So a little bit more about Woods. Robert Woods, 33 years old, 5th team and 4th in the past 5 seasons. added late in free agency. It's only a 1-year, $2 million contract on April 29th, but I think he's here for leadership. And there's more change on this offense, obviously. He was brought in by Omar Khan, number one wide receiver. DK Metcalf, he's obviously in town. So we're kind of looking at re-signing earlier in free agency. You got Scotty Miller, you've got Ben Skowronek, and adding them to a room that includes Calvin Johnson III and Roman Wilson. And this is a little more from Woods. Omar is going to try to build the best roster he can. That's challenging guys, always making the room competitive. At this point in my career, I don't look at that, and I hope the young guys aren't looking at that either. We've got a job to earn, and we have to come out and earn it. So they're keeping all these distractions outside of the locker room. I really like that. But to be frank, Pittsburgh, you guys are still looking for a number 2 receiver, and it seems like it's been endless since, frankly, Deontay Johnson was traded to Carolina last year when he was out of town. The Steelers were close to getting Brandon Ayuk from San Fran last year, and it was kind of looking like Christian Kirk was going to join the season, in to be the number 2. He broke his collarbone mid-season in Jacksonville. And then you're looking at Khan. He also traded for Mike Williams last year. He is back as a Charger in free agency. There's kind of been a revolving door at number 2 receiver. Who are you looking at this point that can still be acquired? And I'm a guy that's partial to one of these guys coming into town. Guess who? But we got Davis, Keenan Allen, and Amari Cooper. They seem to be the top free agents that are still available. Now that Aaron Rodgers is in town, signed his 1-year contract, the Steelers could try to find him another target. I think they really have to. And I'm not really one to give Aaron Rodgers control of the roster. It was a slippery slope with the Jets. I don't want to see Allen Lazard in town. I don't even think that a day 3 pick to acquire him and pay him, probably going to be about $11 million to bring him into town. I would much rather see Keenan Allen join in. The guy showed in Chicago last year that he had a ton left in the tank. I think he'd be absolutely perfect for Aaron Rodgers with what needs to be done with this offense. Aaron still has a deep ball that's intact, but he's been a little spotty in these intermediate to short throws during his time with the Jets, and it was actually kind of starting to rear its ugly head his last year in Green Bay. Keenan Allen is the perfect remedy for that. I don't think there's anyone in the league that's more of a route technician than he is. He's lost a little bit of speed, obviously, but I think he's the perfect fit for what the Pittsburgh Steelers need. Give you a wily veteran, a really dependable number 2 receiver. And even on a down year in Chicago, he had over 700 yards, almost 800 yards in a down year, and he seems to be fully healthy. So that's my 2 cents. That's who I think that the Steelers should sign. But let's hear just a little bit more from Robert Woods. And this is actually from Austin. Let's go to Austin. After dealing with what we did last year, it was so much speculation from March through September. At this point, nothing is going to be as extreme as that. We've dealt with this before. Wilson, he actually laughed when he heard Austin's words about adding Davis to town. I think Wilson thinks that he is going to be the number 2 receiver, and I would absolutely love to see him develop into that. He was absolutely balling out in camp last year until he had that injury. Now he's looking really good. He's looking bulked up. Players are saying that he actually looks like a different person on the field. His speed and explosiveness is still fully intact. This is what Wilson had to say. I'm going to say the same thing. I'll welcome him with open arms, but I can't speak on it. So, of course, Wilson missed all of his rookie season. 3rd round pick, though. I don't think he's in danger of losing his job to anyone, but still, it's good that he doesn't see the potential signing or trade as motivation because his motivation's coming from elsewhere. Not at all, Wilson said. My biggest motivation is myself. I don't really care. So I think there's a lot to work with here. Pickens is gone, but we've got Wilson coming up, and I think he's going to come into his own. Woods can be some glue in this wide receiver room. He had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons with the Rams in 18 and 19. That was a little while ago. But he's totaled just 1,712 yards in his past 4 seasons. I think he's more there in the locker room to provide stability, to be a glue guy, and also really tutor these younger wide receivers in Roman Wilson and Calvin Austin. I think he's an excellent guy to have in the locker room, and it's such a cheap deal. It is fully worth it. There's zero risk. So you guys tell me what you think. What do you think about the power running game being the predominant piece of this offense? And also, I just think Keenan Allen would be the perfect addition to this team with Aaron Rodgers in tow. Let me know what you think about that, and really appreciate growing this channel with you guys. Once again, I'm just going to say I am primarily a Bears guy. I have a Bears channel. Justin Fields brought me to Pittsburgh. I started watching games before I knew it. I was doing a channel for you guys, and I'm going to continue to be here to provide an outsider's view, kind of an impartial take on Pittsburgh Steelers football on the daily, and we'll talk soon. See ya.